Good afternoon, YouTube man. All the way George Page, aka the Emperor of WMA Talk, I think it's more like boxing talk, you might well say. But I think I'll say boxing talk, women's boxing talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, I just saw on my counter on my channel that I hit 1,000 subscribers. Woohoo! Woohoo! It took me a long time to do this. And, I'd like to thank everybody out there who support my channel, who follow my content, the people I've done interview with, I've become friends with. I really appreciate all. But like I said, I'm not going to take up too much of time with my good news. I want to bring in a lady, a lovely lady, who's going to be her BKFC debut. And that is one Miss Brooke, the Guillotine Gilley. So we're going to bring her in and,
Hey.
Hey, welcome. Thank you for coming. Appreciate your time. Now, one thing we're gonna ask you. The question is, how did a lovely lady like you get in sports like LFC and now going over into BKFC? What is this? What's the thing? What's the story behind this? Share, please.
I wish I could say it was something super exciting, but I've just kind of my whole life been after like the dangerous things, the adrenaline rushes. Snowmobiling, hunting, things like that. And when I was like 19, I started training with a group of guys in a fight team called Zombie Fist in Gillette, Wyoming. And I was like, man, I love this. And then, and I got the opportunity to do stuff with the LFC. I was like, oh, I get to be hot and beat bitches up. So it was like a win there. And then, I know a guy named Manny who's fought for BKFC, and he reached out and he was like, hey, they're looking for a 145. And I was like, 145s are so hard to find. And then I found out it was bare knuckle, and I was just like, oh my God, yes. So I'm just an adrenaline junkie, I guess.
Yeah, I said bare knuckle. I had an interview this afternoon with a fighter. Her name is Jamie, the Red Queen Driver, and she fought a bare knuckle fight over the weekend. And I watch bare knuckle good every now and then. I know there's quite a few people have transitioned to that sport. A lot of MMA fighters, even some boxers. And you're coming from a sport which kind of like, it's a bit like MMA and a bit of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be something different for you. Or you feel like you're ready for this? Because it's gonna, like I said, there's a good chance that I've seen the bare knuckle, and sometimes I've seen people look like like Stallone and Rambo, the jaw down the side of the face.
No, I'm absolutely ready. Win or lose, either way, I'm gonna learn something that I can take on to the next fight. And there's just the thrill of the fight, the training that I've been doing, everything that I've been doing since, 2011, 2012, when I started training, is coming down to this moment. And this is my kickoff to mainstream. So I'm taking it extremely seriously. I'm not worried about getting hit in the face. It won't be the first time, won't be the last. So, yeah, I'm just all around excited and pumped.
Now, I watch a good bit of the lingerie fighting championships, and people think it's not as well. Like I said, you do have to. One thing you do, like there's no striking in the face. It's a lot of more body shots, and sometimes you got to pull your punches. And what was your first fight, and when was that?
My first fight with LFC was Susie Stiletto Quinn in Sturgis, and that was like one of the hardest transitions to go from, training with a bunch of people and doing amateur MMA and then going into LFC, and they're like, you can't hit in the face, you can't do this. And it's just natural, it's automatic. So that first fight was really challenging there. I think I did get her in the face a couple times, but I brought home the win on that one. So I was pretty stoked about that. And that's another thing that I'm a little, I've been training really hard on that. When you do MMA and you do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you have the opportunity to come in for like a takedown or, a flip, a roll, the grappling aspect of it. And I'm really working hard on training my brain to not see those openings for a takedown and go in for it. So I think that's going to be probably my biggest obstacle to overcome with going to straight boxing from MMA is not grappling, because grappling is my jam. So
yeah. What over the weekend I just had an interview with your opponent, Jessica Baraga. Borja. That's why I say Baraga. It's Borja, and she is game. She's game because I think one thing says she is, with Jessica, she fought in Bellator like yourself. She has a BJJ background, and she said how she got out of contract with Bellator to do this fight. It's opportunity, and I know with the BKFC, for a while they just had women's 125 the flyweight. And now I think they expanded. I think it's I believe was it Britton Hart moved to 115 not that long ago, and now you're getting the bigger girls. And this thing is UFC, which is one of the biggest organizations in MMA, has one of the smallest and one of the most sorriest 145 division. And that thing is, people like this. When you have the bigger girls, there's more opportunities for bigger shots, bigger hits, all of that. And the ideology that you think big women are not that healthy. Yeah. What's your thought as a woman in this sport?
Honestly, and this is me being just blunt, normal myself, it's really easy for a promotion to be like, oh, we have this cute, tiny little girl. She's 125 pounds and she's a badass, and it's great. It's fine because she's still feminine. And I feel like when you get into girls that are bigger, like Christine Cyborg, for instance, she's a big badass girl. I've been a huge fan of her for years. And that feminine, being able to market it and advertise it as a cute little girl, you get up to the 145ers, we're taller, we're bigger, we're built more like men. You look like, if you look at a lot of the fighters that are my height, I'm 5'9". There's a lot of male fighters that are 145. And some of us girls are just as big as them, if not bigger. And I think it's an intimidation factor, and they're not as marketable. And we're coming into an era where it's okay to be a tomboy, a strong, kind of alpha female. That's not something that's pushed to the side and unmarketable anymore. And that's just my take on it. So way to go, all you 145 women that are pushing for it.
Yeah, because I'm from North Carolina and South. Our women are kind of big and healthy. There's some skinny little girls right here, but we got some big, healthy women. And that's the thing is, people shouldn't judge the content, the what someone's outside, judge the content of somebody's character or their skill set. Like Cyborg, I'm a big fan of Cyborg. I've done content about Chris Cyborg. She's even commented on stuff. I appreciate her because she's a great lady. People like, I'm not a big fan of Amanda Nunes. I think she's a Coyote. I am not a big fan of her. But there's some fighters that they do need the opportunity because you know what? Like I said again, you bring in the bigger girls, you get bigger shots, bigger hits. I mean, also. People think like this. Women in mixed martial arts, they're not a big fan of it. But I think like this. This is something I remember. What a fighter by the name of Ann Brown Sugar Wolf said that women they fight harder sometimes with men because she said like this. When men fight, they act like they're making love. When women fight, y'all go out. Because I've seen fights like over the weekend we just had the big event over in London that was between Krista Shields, Savannah Marshall, and also Alicia Baumgardner and Michaela Meyer, and those ladies went toe to toe. And that's the thing about women in boxing; they don't get much recognition, and they don't get paid. There's only a handful of women in that sport that makes maybe I won't say they probably make more than maybe a low level male boxer, just a little bit more. But and the thing is that doing this, the pay is like I know I talked to Jessica. She said that one thing is your social media has to be expanded. That will help you make your money.
Yeah, the more tickets you sell, the more valuable you are. It's kind of the way it goes. The more productive you are with any job, the more money you're going to make. And that's how we make our money. That's how we keep the promotions going. So it's good to be likable. Sometimes as a fighter, it's difficult to be likable, but I think that's kind of where the whole feminine thing plays back into. I know me personally, and I don't speak for all girls that are my height, but my whole life I've caught so much shit for being tall. Oh, she's a huge girl, she's tall. Guys that are shorter than me never wanted to date me. Couldn't wear heels with guys that were like close to me or whatever. So like our whole life, we're taught to be brought down. And now, we're going to take full advantage of the era where we're being brought up for who we are, what we are, and it's okay to be a tall, bigger girl. Yeah,
because like I said, I'm not that tall. I'm 5'7", and I'm kind of round. My older brother, he was about tall. He was a little 6 feet. And the idea that I think everybody looks at it. If a guy who's a little shorter, they look at him differently from a man who's a little taller. And we're guys who are not in the particular height. We're not as considered. alpha male. I think say like I think you got to be tall, big, tall. But we guys who don't have that certain thing about we have particular things about ourselves that really makes us stand out. Now I'm gonna show you some pitch from your social media, and this is you right here, and you
Ah,
know y'all here hunting. You
oh
get
yeah.
where are you from?
I'm from Kalispell, Montana originally, but now I live in Gillette, Wyoming. I've lived in Wyoming for the last, since I was 14, so almost 20 years. And that was elk hunting this year, archery hunting up in the Bighorns.
Playing a little pool.
Yeah, we got a flat tire on the truck, so we had to go into town. And I was like, well, let's go play some pool while we're waiting for the truck to get fixed.
Well, one of my jobs, I used to work at a strip club, and we used to play pool with the girls. Yeah, that's the only one I want to do is play with pool with strippers. And here's a video with you, and you're out and you're running.
Oh yeah, my husky, it's funny. He's usually pretty awesome. He keeps up with me or drives me crazy because he's a high energy dog. And that day I was like, come on, Clue. We hit 5 miles that morning and it was like 95 degrees out and I do not like the heat. So that was a good day.
I'll tell you right now, as a big man, I have no fan of the heat. Because I'm out there, I might melt, and people might say he's melting. He's a ghetto snowman. I remember the Frosty movies when Frosty melt in the movie, and or the cartoon you saw us every Christmas, and it's just funny.
I can't put my arms down, A Christmas Story.
Yeah, I mean that's great. It's not that far. I mean, I'm telling you, time is flying. Is he there right now? Your husky?
Oh, this is my Akita. Actually, she's like, I hear a new voice.
Yeah, I know. I love dogs because we lived out of the country. We had dogs. My grandfather used to hunt the dogs and stuff like that. Last time I had a dog a long time. When I was living here with my partner, my mom, we had fish and birds. So that's the big thing. My sister, she's the baby girl, but she was older than me. She had like poodles, and they were nice little poodles. I remember one time. Yeah, I mean, one time I was sick one day. I was just sick I had pneumonia. I was sick. I was at the house, and a poodle came up and he laid beside me, and I pet him. And I felt a little better. That's great about dog. Now, folks, we got my man here, Money J 2023, and he's saying he gives you a clap and crossing his fingers, and
thank you. Appreciate that.
And Money J is giving you a peace sign. So thank you, brother, for coming through. Folks, I said again. If you want to know about Miss Gilley, about Brooke, her information is in the description. Check her out. Reach out to her. Also, she has a PayPal, a Venmo. If you're someone who's interested in donating to a lady, and his thing is, guys, don't be ladies guys like say, Brooke, you're kind of a pretty girl. If I see something, will you give me something? And say no. And here's my other rule. I tell guys, no D pics, you sick freaks. Yeah. I know. You see, you probably watch Brooke in her lingerie videos and wrestling. No. No one want like this thing. I just had a conversation with my lady. You don't want to say like, let me see something. Click. No, don't do that shit.
I'll post them.
It's crazy what people do because, like I said, I do content on especially on bodybuilding, especially on women bodybuilding. And I talk conversation with women, say like, there be guys be like talking junk about, say, oh, you like a man. But they be seeing guys who be seeing pictures of their willy woo or something naked. I mean, one time I was on IG with a lady I've become friendly with. We become friends. And we were talking. And then in the middle of the IG, some guy come up and he pulled his pants down. I said, what the hell? What the fuck? I didn't want to see that shit. I mean, I played football in high school. I was in the gym. I seen guys like, but that's different. You had no choice to that because you want to take a shower. Now,
you're like, I've seen enough swinging dick in my life. I don't need to see anymore.
Now, like I said, you did some modeling, and how long you did that? On and off or off and on?
Yeah, on and off for about 10 years. I'm starting to learn photography. My daughter is very photogenic and she wants to model. So I'm like, all right, mom's got to learn how to use the camera now. So I'm on the other end of the camera now, trying to be anyways. So
you're a mom. So you're a fight mom.
I am a mom. I have 4 kids.
Dang. And dang, you don't look like, I mean, I know women who had like, 10, 5, 6 kids and don't look as good as you. Some women, like I said, staying working out, training that keeps you in good shape. And then how old are your kids, and which range they're from?
So my oldest is 18. He graduates this year. He's pretty awesome. He's an awesome football player, basketball player. And then I have my 16-year-old who is Wyoming's heavyweight wrestling champ. So it kind of runs in the genetics here. And then Hudson's 15 and my daughter Aislinn is 14. Whoa, there's a great group of kids.
Your baby's about grown now, huh?
I know. I'm so excited. I'm not even going to be 40 yet, and my kids will be all grown and out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like that. My sister, she had 4 kids. One thing, I have a nephew. We're just 2 years apart between me. We grew up together almost like brothers. And I have another nephew. We're just 3 years apart between him. And then my older sister's last 2 kids. There's a little distance, about maybe about 10 years. But we kind of like I see them more almost like my brothers and sisters than I do. Because I remember when I was growing up, my mom, my dad got married. My mom was 16. My dad was 21. They got married. They had 7 children. There's only 4 of us left now. And my older sister, people used for a long time thought she was my mother and thought my mother was my grandmother. I mean, I said, no, that's not my mama, that's my sister. And and just like I said, you're not even 40 yet. Have these kids, they about grown, ready, one going to college, one want to be a model. I mean, and then also you got to fight. And the thing about also what I talk about are the sacrifice that you as a mom have to make. Also, because you got to train, you got to do this. So sometimes you got to try to find that time to spend with your kids. And do they ever watch your fights or anything like that?
They do. And actually, my oldest, he was like, he thinks Jessica's hot. So he's like, Mom, she's hot. And I was like, yeah, she's very beautiful. And he's like fanning over her. And I'm like, where's the loyalty, man?
Well, you got to remember, he's an 18-year-old boy. You're his mom. He'll love his mom. But if he sees like, you're thinking like this is me as like you said, I was raised by a single mother. And we like this as boys, our best friend is our mother. You are the first woman we truly love. Mm-hmm. And you know what? We're gonna have those little times where we're gonna get distracted by a girl, something pretty young thing. Like he's a big, strong football healthy boy. He's gonna have those little girls that are like, hey there, and say how you doing? And say and then his friend be saying, what's your son's name?
Well, Hunter.
Hunter say, Hunter, you figure stay overnight, because with your mom gonna be there. Say, no, hey man, that's not my mom. Not my mom, man.
I guess it's kind of fair because he always tells me, he's like, Mom. He's like, my friends always tease me and say they're gonna be my stepdad. And he's like, I'm sick of hearing locker room talk. And I was like, oh, what y'all do? I'm still coming to every game. So
we have a prayer attractor mom like you say, all the sons and the dads are looking and say, that's Brooke over there. Say, hey, Brooke. And they might say, hey, sorry, honey. I was watching the game, honey. Never mind. I say, now, what was that? Your first fight was with Susie, right? Mm-hmm. And I watched a clip of it where she said that when you took her down because she busted her nose and you said it was awkward. She really, because I don't know if you saw that clip. It was
I did see that clip, and I laughed my ass off because she obviously doesn't know what a DDT is.
Yeah, it's like I grew up watching wrestling. I grew up watching guys like Ric Flair, Chief Wahoo McDaniel, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock.
Yep.
When wrestling, when not wrestling, it's country folk, we call it wrestling. When you used to go, I don't really watch that much anymore of it because it's kind of like it's falling off a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I grew up watching it with my dad too. I was a huge Roddy Piper fan. I love, all of it. We used to watch it all the time. And when I watch that playback, I usually don't read the comments on other people's posts and stuff because there's a lot of negativity out there, and I don't have the space for other people's bullshit in my life. So, it's just unnecessary. But I did watch that one, and when she said that, I just laughed my ass off because my DDT to my guillotine is like my go-to. And her nose got broke when she hit the mat in that DDT. That was not an improper guillotine, but it's cool. It's cool. Her and I got
Yeah.
a little bit of a rivalry going on, so
It's cool, bitch, but it's cool.
I still won.
like one of my favorite movies is Fast and Furious. The main part when Vin Diesel says, "Be a yard or a mile, a win's a win."
Yeah,
You have to win.
exactly.
Now
Exactly.
you also had another match. I think was it last year also.
Yep, against Bella Inc.
Uh-huh.
And we're looking for a rematch on that one too. So
Yeah, and
hopefully you guys will be seeing that soon.
I think Bella needs to maybe wear some different kind of because she's kind of a big girl. I think she's just. But I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna judge.
Oh, you're talking about Shelby.
Oh, Shelby. Okay,
Yeah, you're talking about Shelby.
Oh,
yeah,
Shelby.
Shelby. I forgot about that one. Yeah, there was Shelby in there. Shelby is probably one of the hardest working, training, kindest souls you will ever meet. Her and I are actually really, really good friends now. She's very confident, and I love the message that she relays that, you can be you and you can get your ass in there and you can do whatever you want. I have a lot of respect for Shelby Paris.
That's good because it's good to have a good camaraderie with these ladies you work with,
Mhm.
and to especially you gotta do all these falls. You're rolling all around. You're wearing bikinis. Was it ever been like kind of what they call a wardrobe malfunction?
Not for me, but last year, Crystal White, her titties were straight up out. That was great. I was like, Lord, somebody get her a pasty. It was, yeah, but I'm usually pretty good about making sure my wardrobe's covered up, and especially because we're on Roku now too, so you have to make sure that those are covered up. But I don't usually let women get close enough to get my shit off. So
Yeah. I know. I remember. Was it there was one lady who did LFC before, and that was her name is it's Katie Forbes, because she used to wrestle over with Impact, and then she did a couple of LFC fights. I think now she's doing professional wrestling. You ever met her or cross paths
I
with her?
haven't. I think she was a little bit more active before I came on with LFC, so I haven't met her yet.
Mm-hmm. And I know there's quite a few ladies that I recognize because I recognize them doing wrestling, and also it's like I think like I talked about Jessica because she found out about the LFC. That's been around for a good while. I know I've been reaching out to a couple ladies about doing interviews. I've been become Facebook friends, IG friends with Bella Madison, and I'm hoping to try to get her on. We've been talking back and forth, and it's like I said, people can look at it like girls in lingerie. It's gonna be a little silent, but also it's entertaining too. Because you know what, people like to be entertained. It's like the movie The Gladiator was saying, "Are you not entertained?
Yeah,
Are you not entertained?"
you beat me to it. I was gonna do it.
Go ahead, you can do it. You can do it.
Sparta. Dude, we can go that way. Found a different one.
Yeah, Gladiator versus. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a big movie fan. I'm gonna quote a lot of stuff for the movies. I can't help myself. Because one thing is, as I'm right here. I'm George, all the way George Page, or basically I'm George MacArthur. I'm another guy, the Pervy Sage, and then also there's another guy I am, and me and him, we often butt heads, and that is the Joker. and you know what, Brooke, you are beautiful.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. It's just like my father was a drunk and a fiend, and my mother never like it, not one bit. I love that when he took in. If you go like this, Jack was good. I love Jack Nicholson when he was the Joker. But when he did it, he just took and he ran with it. He just went a totally different direction. Now instead of getting about being a parent sacrifice, your kids, they love you, support you. And sometimes there's times where, okay, you might want to go to a football game, but then, you have a fight coming up, and then you have to make a choice. You know what? I gotta take care of, pay the bills, something like that. And your kids understand that. As what you got to do. Mommy has to work. How to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Well, and there's a website. It's National High School Sports. So if I can't make it to a game, I've got a subscription to that, so I can always broadcast it on my phone. The biggest problem is wrestling and basketball season, because like my oldest does basketball and then my second oldest does wrestling. So we'll have state in one town the same weekend as state in another town for the other sport. So it's like, shit, okay, half the day here, half the day there, trying to finesse everything. But I always find a way. And there's some that I've missed, and they understand and they get that.
Well, we said I think I sent you a link a while back. You know that it was from the Trevor Noah show that Dana White is planning on doing a slapping contest.
I just saw that last night.
Yeah,
that looks awesome.
So would you consider something like that?
Yes, I would, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, because I've seen some. Yeah, see, so it's serious. I don't know. I don't want to have another man slap me in the face. I just, I mean, I've seen like this guy I follow called Chizzy Adonis. He'll post some videos of the slap contest, and some of these guys get knocked out.
Oh, did you see Arnold Schwarzenegger's face in the background? He was like,
"Oh yeah." I remember I saw one where I think it was Ric Flair was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I think there's a lot more new sports coming out because I grew up. I was, big fan of boxing, big fan of wrestling, and I grew up in like the era of Mike Tyson, the Larry Holmes, the last couple of years of Ali's. I was born around about 74 when Ali was about almost ready to retire. Right after he's had his third fight with Joe Frazier, and I've been a boxing fan a long time, and then I got into mixed martial arts. Before they showed me some videos, I was a big fan of it at first. I know I told it to another lady who I did interview. Her name is Jamie Driver, and she fights over in BYB. And I told her how I remember a boxer I used to follow, Bernard Hopkins, B-Hop. He called MMA gay sex, and it's just but like I said, moves like that, like rear naked choke, and like some guy would say, "Hey, Brooke, you're a pretty girl. I wouldn't mind putting you in a rear naked choke."
Yeah, I choked back. So,
and when you train? Do you train?
I think you're big enough.
Yeah, when you train with men and women, or just what's your around?
I've never trained with a woman. Where I live, it's very rural. And there's not a lot of female fighters as it is, especially out here. So I have never trained with a female.
Yeah, I know a lot of women. They train with mostly guys, especially if you're in a part of a gym where it's mostly men. And sometimes guys we have to hold back a little bit because we don't want to hurt you women. And I know women. I know a friend of mine. His name is Coach Shane Harrison. He does commentary on MMA. He talks about how sometimes. Women we say you need to go harder, but hey, you gotta remember, men we are much more stronger. We have testosterone, and if we do, go full out, we can hurt you. We have to be very careful because women, you're a precious. Just think about women. You're our greatest strength, and at the same time our greatest weakness. And you ever had a situation where you ever get hurt, or you ever hurt your partner?
I think there's been just a couple simple things. There was one guy that I was sparring with. We were working on stand-up, and he'd never sparred with me. God, what was his name? Baron, I think his name was. And he kept dropping his hands, so I kept just kind of love popping him. And he got really, really frustrated, and he hauled off. And he got me good when I was talking to the coach and just popped me right in the eye. And I had a black eye all the way down to here. And I said, your fucking ass is mine next time we spar. So the next time I sparred with him, I got him good, and he had a fracture in his nose. So that's the biggest problem is like I don't have females to train with. And then some of the guys that I've been training with for a long time aren't like this. It's when we get new guys that come in that want to train with us, and they're like, oh, yeah, I'll spar with you. And they've got their ego up there, and they're like, oh, she's a girl. She just hit me in the face. And they get pissed. And then, things like that happen. And I won't spar with you again if you want to act like that.
Yeah,
we're both there to learn from each other. We're not there to hurt each other.
Yeah, that's the thing is, with men, I think our purpose in life, as I said earlier with another lady, is to build, battle, and to breed. Our thing is we live, we fight, we die, and women we see you as the harvesters, the carriers of our children, our families. But now women are getting more into situations where they're getting to sports like MMA, bodybuilding. Boxing, you have the WNBA, there's even women playing, you have soccer, you have women playing even football. I mean, I talked to one girl, interviewer said she played football. I said, soccer? I said, no, football. I said, and I played football. I played high school football for a couple of years. And, I don't know. If I tackle a girl, I feel bad. I hurt her.
You're like, no.
I feel like that. I feel like that guy from the movie Mouse and Man. I broke her. I broke the little rabbit. I didn't mean to break the rabbit. You know, you gotta be careful. We got here, Tommy Bell Arts,
Hey,
High Brook.
Tommy.
He's a friend of
Tommy's the
yours.
shit.
Yeah. And also now for another guy I follow is Michael Larkin over he does interviews with you ladies. I think he done a couple interviews with you.
Yep.
And you know, hey
Michael,
Brookie. Appreciate you,
Michael's
Michael.
the shit. He's one of my
Yeah.
favorite human beings, him and Tommy both. Tommy's art is phenomenal. He does a lot of portraits of the LFC fighters. And not only is his art phenomenal, but that guy is hilarious. And you know, Michael is amazing. He's one of my favorites. Every time I've done a podcast interview with him, you know, we probably talk a little too much pop culture and not enough fights, but that's just kind of what we both click on. Michael's awesome. He's been really great. You know, they've both been really great at supporting me and promoting me, and a lot of love and respect for those two.
Yeah, I watched Michael stuff. He also does some interviews with some bodybuilders too, and you know that's pretty cool because you know what, it's the for us guys like myself, we're a fan of female bodybuilders. We're called muscle pullers, SMOs. But you know, I remember one lady told me, "Say you're not a SMO, you're a fan." And you know, we support women like that in sports in which it's not traditionally seen because like what about your family? Like other than your kids, how about the rest of your family?
I'm completely 100% estranged from my family.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom committed suicide when I was 14.
Oh my God.
And my dad's garbage. He's absolute garbage. He's an alcoholic. He is just garbage, toxic, abusive. After my mom died, I moved to Wyoming with my grandfather, and my grandfather raised me. And I am the oldest of 7 kids, and I don't talk to any of them. It's just a very, it's the abuse of the prescription pills, the alcohol, the drugs, with all of them. And I had to, for my own mental health and for my own well-being and for my kids' well-being, I had to take a step back probably about 7 or 8 years ago, and I was just completely done. So.
Yeah, what point I can say about my father? My father wasn't the best father. Like I say, he was a drunk and a fiend. And like I said, him and my mother got married very young, and I'm the youngest. Like I have a younger brother, and also have a younger sister. And I'm out of 9. My father had 2 children, actually maybe more, because knowing my father, he had an older son. He had a son before he married my mom. Then he had a daughter afterwards. They were together for 55 years. While she was down here in North Carolina, he spent the other 30 in New Jersey. And when he passed away, it was like almost 7 years ago. And even though I remember the last time we talked to each other, and we talked to each other as men, and we settled our difference because he was my father. And my mother, she was sick. She had a seizures and a stroke, and I took care of her for like 5 or 6 years. And I started this content because it helped me dealing with her stuff. And she passed away 2 years ago. She had got the virus. She got sick, and then boom, and I said like my woman's gone. I don't got nothing else to do. And then people said, what, George, now you should take care of yourself more. And I've been down this path. I've been like, I tell you right this, I was over 400 pounds. I was almost just a few pounds away from the 500 scale. But I've dropped down to at least at 300. And really, I'm going to say your point because I have family members who have been on drugs and stuff like that, and they can be a pain in the ass. And sometimes not all family is blood. And sometimes you can probably find better bonds with people that you like. You talk about Tommy and Michael. Mm-hmm. Better bonds with people who are not blood related, but you come family. We got a man balls deep. This is a guy. He's crazy. Balls deep in the house. What's up and salute? Yeah, balls deep. And balls. He's also telling you she's beautiful and strong. You got a fan here. And balls is from Chicago in here.
Hey, I used to live in Chicago.
Yeah, and this is another one. Dose and Queen Pack on deck, and also. Smash the like button. Yeah, smash the like button and support. And also, I said again, books information in the description. She's doing a bicep for your pose. You supposed like biceps. And my condolences. Appreciate that. For both of us, balls deep. Now, as you said again, your fight is coming up with Jessica in November, and we're gonna this is gonna be both y'all debuts in bare knuckle, and what's that? What's that feeling? Are you feel like you're ready for this to go to the next step in your career?
I do. I do feel like I'm ready. There's always that voice in the back of your head, and you're at least I'm constantly thinking, and I'm like, okay, where could this mess up? Where what do I need to work harder on? Where do I need to train? And I think just getting in there and doing it and getting the first one under my belt and addressing my training from there on out. There's not much more that I can do to prepare myself physically. So now I'm to the mental part of it and making sure that I'm keeping my headspace clear and clean and focused and, not allowing any negativity in, just keeping my eye on the prize and doing my best. I want to make a good impression and I want to give the people that buy tickets a good show to watch.
Yeah, and I know I was talking with Jessica. The one thing I said, you talk about expanding your social media, and with bare knuckle, it's getting popular. And and which if you can, like, you got women over there now like Paige Van Zant, Pearl Gonzalez. You got the champion in the 125. That's was it Christina Ferrari? Yeah, and also you have.
I love that girl.
Yeah, you have Britain Hart. A couple of good number of
Taylor.
women. Yeah, I saw it. She's from South Carolina. She's from the next. Oh my God.
I couldn't figure out what happened. I don't know. I've watched her other fights and I watched that one because, I really look up to Christine. I really like the message that she sends about being yourself, being who you are, being real, being tough, being strong. And I admire her a lot as well. And so, when she called her out and she got the fight, I was like, oh, stoked for it, And then when she was just like, no, I'm done, and her corner didn't cut it, that surprised me. Because if I go to my corner and I'm like, nah, and they don't call it for me, if they're not my voice for me like that, they're fired. That was absolutely uncalled for. But I feel like there was something more going on than just getting hit, because I've seen her get waylaid, and I mean, she just keeps coming and coming. So I don't know if she wasn't there mentally or if Christine just hits that damn hard. It could be a combination of both too. But I was definitely surprised at that one.
Well, the thing about any sport, especially combat sports, be it MMA, be it boxing, be it wrestling, it's about the not just about how like I said, my favorite movie is Rocky Balboa. It's the whole Rocky series. How at the end, when one of the movies said, like, it's not about how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. I think she probably maybe she kind of bit more than she chewed. And then the one thing is about if your mind's not there, your body's not willing. You just like the flesh be strong, but if the mind's not willing, it's just that it's just you have these moments.
Yeah. And I'm a firm believer when it comes to like my health and stuff like that. I try not to take antibiotics. I rarely take ibuprofen. I meditate a lot, and I truly believe that the computer of the body is your brain. And so if you can tell your brain, we're going to do this, we can do this, then it has no reason to deny your body doing it. And that's just kind of the way, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to do my hardest, I'm going to bring everything that I've learned over the years into it. And between what I'm going to put in it with the effort from my head, my heart, and my soul, I feel like, if she underestimates me, she's going to regret it.
Well, one of my favorite movies is Batman Begins, the whole Chris Nolan version. And when Ra's al Ghul was played by Henry Cott, but he was Ra's al Ghul played by Liam Neeson, where it says like, be aware of surroundings at all time, Master Wayne. Never give up sure footing for a killing blow. And that's the thing is you have to be aware of surroundings. We got my man Balls Deep. He's saying, what side of the side were you from? He's wondering what part of Chicago you were at.
I lived in Elk Grove, so northwest suburbs.
Northwest suburbs. And he's asked you something which, I'll let him ask him. He says, flex for me, baby girl. I mean, yeah. It's not like a bodybuilder, balls deep, because he usually comes out when I do my bodybuilder content. He loves when I do interviews with female bodybuilders, and but she has nice guns. How many times you broke your knuckles? He's wondering. You ever? What kind of, like, even though you being that you doing, you spar. I know in sparring sometimes they've been injured. I know fighters who had to cut out of fights because they got injured doing sparring. Sparring and fighting. What kind of injuries you have had?
So I've never broke my knuckles, but I have had a few boxer's fractures on my right hand. They usually heal pretty quick on me. I heal fast. I try to take pretty good care of myself. So that's other than torn stuff or hyperextended, I've never really suffered a bad injury during a fight. I try to keep my flexibility up. I try to get my defenses good. So, and I don't really let people hurt me. So,
Yeah, she'll let people hurt, and a man balls deep. Because he flex for him. He hit last. Yes, Lord. Yeah, okay, balls deep. All right. You gotta be careful with balls deep. He be a problem.
I mean,
No.
with a name like that.
Yeah. Balls deep. I remember doing an interview with one lady. She had a guy. She was his nickname was also balls deep, and she told me it was so funny. I pick on balls deep very often, but I appreciate the brother for coming through and supporting. But like I said, this is gonna be a big event for you. You're gonna be fighting in Orlando. You think the kids gonna come with you, or is just gonna be you and some friends, or how you gonna, what's going to be?
It's just going to be me and my manager that are going down there. So kids are going to stay home. They have school and sports. So
Yeah. And what's your manager's name?
her name's Anna Kuchakova.
Oh, yeah. And how long y'all been together as a client and manager?
Last 2.5 years.
Yeah, and, was she the one that participated this whole thing for the bare knuckle, or was it your idea?
No, actually, I got my BKFC through word of mouth. I'm from Montana, and they just did their fights in Great Falls. And I met a guy named Manny Manuel, the one that fights for him. I met him when I went down in Sheridan with a group of my snowmobiling guy friends. We popped in there for a beer before we headed up the mountain. And he was bartending, and we got to bullshitting. And he was like, "Yeah, I got a fight coming up." And I was like, "Oh, dude, that's cool. You fight." And so we started talking about it. And when he was in Great Falls, he mentioned that he knew a girl that was my weight that fought, and reached out to me 2.5, 3 weeks ago. And he was like, "Hey, they want to know if you want to fight." And I was like, "Yeah." And so I took the fight, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, who am I fighting?" And Nate was like, "Jessica Borga." Is it Borga or Borgia? Because I really don't.
It's Borgia. It's Borgia.
Borgia.
I say Borga, but it's Borgia. It's kind of. I remember she told me her name is it's a bit of Italian. It's an Italian and kind of a background. She's Italian, German descent. And I mean, I sometimes I ask her, "Can I get it right?" Because sometimes when I do interviews, I want to make sure I get somebody's name right. I have a bit of a southern accent. Sometimes my tongue I talk a little fast. And I try. I want to make sure I get your names right when I say it.
Well, I appreciate that, but I forgot where I was now.
We'll get back to it. We'll put back to that later. We'll get it fit together.
Right.
But and like I said, I know I was talking to her. She said she followed Bellator, and one thing she couldn't sit down and wait for because Bellator, even though Bellator has a little bit better 145 division next to Invicta and also better than UFC, it's still. She said her last fight was last year was against Leah McCourt, and she said she had to wait for years. She had one more fight left on contract. She got on contract. It's opportunity for a fight. I mean, it's I think a good opportunity, to go to another sport, maybe change your pathway. She also, for one time, she did as she was a valet for W wrestler Bobby Lashley for a time. She said she wanted to focus more on her and make a career and do that. Have you ever met any professional wrestlers yourself?
Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo Slice. Oh wow, I remember Kimbo when he came out. I used to watch his videos. His because I
the backyard brawls.
Yeah, I mean, one guy he fought Gannon, he beat him up. I mean, that was. But I remember he did that fight a few years ago with that guy Dada 3000.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh my God, it was like, I think they said Dada had to take him to the hospital because he almost died. I mean, Kimbo was a good street fighter, but he just wasn't as good as an MMA fighter.
Yeah, and it was funny because when I met him, he was really scary looking and very intimidating. And I was like, "Oh, I want to meet Kimbo Slice." I was all excited. He was the friendliest teddy bear guy, like compared to his appearance and like the go hard look. Like he was so respectful, manners. I mean, just funny, great, cool, chill guy. God rest his soul. He was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and there's my man Balls Deep. Yeah, RIP to Kimbo Slice. Yeah, RIP to me. He was a legend in world combat sports, and we all remember him. Now, the big question is, you think you're ready for this fight? You feel like you have a chance against your opponent? You feel like that you're gonna go in there and mollywop her? Do you feel like it's gonna be toe to toe, mano a mano, gavea?
I think that it is a very good matchup. And I think that if I'm underestimated, it'll be regretted. That's about all I got to say about it. I think it's going to be a good matchup. weight wise, height wise. So we'll have to see. But I feel like I'm ready.
Yeah, and and maybe you're hoping you get some more fights in the future because, like I said, BKFC is really growing. It's getting really popular. And also, as I know, I did an interview with a lady who does BYB. Maybe you can reach out to them and maybe try to do some fights, and also maybe still do some stuff with LFC because
LFC is my home right now. So
yeah, so you want to stick to that for a good while, and go.
yeah,
It's always
I love them. Every girl that I've interacted with and worked with LFC is just amazing. I love what they're promoting about women being strong, beautiful, and dominant. I mean, it's a family, and I'm hoping after this there's more fights with BKFC. There was a multi-fight contract talked about, so I don't know where we're going to move forward on that or when or if, but that was talked about. So this is just the start, baby.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's nothing. Only thing that stops you is the sky. If you can reach the sky, you're doing good. My man, Balls Deep, he just has something to say to you. She gained a new fan. You got a new fan with Balls Deep. Like I said, Balls Deep like this. You in the description, I have her social media. Also, again, like this. This is something I'm saying to everybody. This. She is a fighter, and most of these fighters, if they're lucky enough to get with a big contract or get payday, but they do use these sponsors. If you are someone out there who are genuinely interested in sponsor, Brooke here, and his thing is with this, don't be one of these guys looking and say, Brooke, you kind of pretty girl, can you? No. Be like this, say, Miss Gilley, hello, my name is what's your face? I want to sponsor your next fight. I want to see you progress as an athlete, and I want to see you grow and develop. My man Balls Deep has another question he want to ask, and I don't know why he asked it. She got OnlyFans. Balls Deep, no. She got kids, Balls Deep. She got kids. Her son is a football player. You be going home and say, yo, Hunter, I saw your mom. You coming home like, Mama, I have to fight for your love. You don't want, no. I know there's quite a few ladies in NFC, a lot of ladies in the MMA. I knew even women in bodybuilding that do the OnlyFans. And OnlyFans, that came from when people shut down Backpage. But like I say, anything it's like this. When you take something and you decriminalize it, you can make a lot of money off of it. And that's the truth of it.
That's true. So, I just don't have time. On top of everything else, like I wouldn't have time to props to anybody that does it. Like whatever, get your money, do what you got to do. I'm all about hustling. I get it. I don't have the time for it. I don't even like doing my makeup daily. Like I was like, shit, I got that podcast. I got to throw some makeup on my face. I was all sweaty. Looked at the clock. I was like, fuck, it's 1:00. Hurry up. So I couldn't. Those ladies put in way more work than I have the energy for.
Yeah, I know. Like one thing, like even like in sport bodybuilding, ladies have to wear makeup and hair. I mean, they wear posing suits that cost almost your mortgage or something like that, and it's a lot of hard work, especially in a sport in which women don't get as much consideration, don't get as much money as it should. I mean, you have to deal with people who seem like, "Look, you're a pretty girl. Why are you in such a violent sport? You're so pretty."
I say it's my daddy issues.
Yeah. Everybody has, it's like girls have daddy issues.
That's the best fallback on. Everybody instantly believes it and shuts up too. I'm just like, oh, I have daddy issues. It's my trauma, and then nobody wants to ask further. So you're like, ha.
Well, one of my old jobs, I used to work at the strip club, and there was a lot of girls with daddy issues. So that's like my man Chris Rock says like this: a daddy's job is keep his daughter out of those clear heels. So
right.
So, yeah. But anyway, we're not gonna hold you much too longer because and this is a great interview. I enjoy spending time with you, but I know you have responsibilities. You got training to do. You got kids to feed. And and as a woman, I have a lot of respect for you. As
thank you.
Yeah, like I said, this is the one thing I like to quote movies again. And let's say again, my favorite movie is from the Batman trilogy. The scene when Jim Gordon says to Batman, I forgot to thank you, and he turns around and he says, you don't have to, because I really want to give y'all ladies the opportunity because I talk about this a lot, especially on YouTube and on social media. There's going to be 211 million channels dedicated to men in mixed martial arts and bodybuilding and boxing, but only so few, like myself, my man CS Combat Sports, that's the coach Sherry Harris, my brother Combo 99, Combo Bigger 99, No Filter MMA. There's also WWE Addict. We talk about you ladies because we have respect for you. We admire your commitment and passion you put into the sport. Even though you're doing something, you're doing LFC, you're doing BKFC, it's still all combat sports. And you ladies deserve that. My man, Balls Deep says, I can be her daddy.
I don't even call my daddy.
Yeah, you can be like, Balls Deep. I think you can call him Poppy if you like. Peace and blessings to her. And
Thank you.
I'm not gonna ask her that, but I know she's a cool dude. She might, she says, twerk something. No, Balls Deep. No, no, no,
not
no,
a twerker.
no. Balls Deep, one of those guys probably seen those dick pics. Yeah, I know you do, Balls Deep. I know you do. Say click. No, I'm on soft right now, but we yeah. But like I said, we do appreciate time.
Well, thanks for having me on. It's been fun. I look forward to coming up again.
Like it's always a man. It's like I said, as a man, we always want to entertain a lady, and you a lady, and you sure is one party lady.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So anyway, do you have anybody you want to shout out to, say hello, sponsors, friends, or anything else?
Hey kiddos. I don't know if they'll listen to this, but they probably will. And then if you are interested in sponsoring me, let me know. Hit me up. I have a little bit of room left on my shorts where I'm throwing people that are sponsoring me, your business or whatever on there. So let me know. And shout out to Action Motorsports here in Gillette. I appreciate your guys' support.
Yeah, we got one more person that came in the last minute. Why are you always coming leading? This is my man KL. Doga says, "Is she married?" That's none of your business.
I am not.
Yeah. Hey guys, she's single.
Not single, just not married.
Not married. She's not. She got a man. So that's why you don't send D pics. Because if he sees that, say, who's that sending to my woman? Who's that? It's balls. He's on soft. Oh hell no.
We probably laugh at it and forward it to my friends. He's pretty chill. He doesn't get all like that. He's definitely my yin to my yang. I'm always like up here and I'm go, and he's like, babe, let it go. And I'm like, all right, be my zen, make me look crazy.
Yeah, he's you're the peacemaker. You're the anger, fire, and fury. He's the peacemaker.
Yep, I'm a Sagittarius. He's a Cancer. That explains enough.
We got here, my man. KLA says, congratulations on your 1,000 subscribers, George. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate it. And this is one of the ladies that helped me get there, and we appreciate you out here. And anybody who watched this video, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Brooke on her social media. Support her. As you know, her BKF fight is gonna be coming up in about 2 weeks. I mean, God, time is flying.
Oh, I know.
And, it seemed like when I was coming up as a kid, it seemed like Christmas took forever, and your birthdays were like every once a year, but it seemed like Christmas is like around the corner, and birthdays like every.
It's because we pay bills now.
Yeah, I'm like Chris. I remember when I was a kid. I just bought stuff for the kids. Everybody grown now, so I didn't buy nobody. Yep. I used to buy my mom something because my mom. You guys always got to buy something for my mom. But folks, as I said here, is her BKFC debut will be November 5th. That's Saturday, 2 weeks from now. She'll be up against the Black Widow, Jessica Borgia, and it's going to be in Orlando, Florida. You can you can go to her social media. You can also go see it on streaming, and also on the PKFC channel, and also on YouTube. I think they probably have a YouTube too. So but I would say I will wish you, both you ladies, the best of luck. Because like I said, me and Jessica, we've been friends at IG for a long time, and I'm with her best of luck. Also with you, best of luck too. And good luck to your children and your future and what they do. And much respect to you. I mean, like I said, like this, we do appreciate you. Like I said again, folks, her social media stuff in the description. If you want to support her in her path as a fighter, and send support. And like I said again, the rules is don't be sending some strange shit to these ladies. Be respectful. Be this person saying, Miss Gilley, I want to support you. I want to sponsor you. Help you out a little bit. And all I want to see you is to grow and develop in your path, in your career.
I appreciate you guys immensely. And again, my condolences in regards to losing your mom, and congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. I look forward to coming back in a couple months and seeing you up at like that 5,000. Let's do it.
It took me almost, YouTube's kind of funny. They something like this. I like this. The real people who really subscribe me, I really appreciate them. YouTube would throw you a few subscribers here just to to span your channel. But the people who actually subscribe to me, I truly appreciate them. A man balls deep saying, "Good luck."
Thank you.
We had my man who came in last minute, Omar Acosta. Beautiful eyes, beautiful smile.
You.
Beautiful Linda. I think it's something in Spanish. I don't know speak that Spanish good.
Thank you.
Also, my man Lawrence Perkins. Good afternoon, Miss Gilley, and appreciate to her. And Boss Eve, like I said, I'll put a little something on her phone bill. Boss Eve, yeah, he can help you out. Boss Eve, he loves you, ladies. And one more here. How are you doing, George? Again, and fans. Appreciate you, my man Lawrence. Appreciate it. I'm doing fine. We're doing great. So anyway, folks, instead again, check her out. Like I said, her BKFC debut will be 2 weeks, November 5th. Check out, support her, support also Jessica Borgia. Support us, ladies. Yeah, I also like to thank the people that came through. Mike Larkin, Tommy, my man KL, Don't Get His Nature, Balls Deep, Omar Costa, Lois Perkins, all the people who come here to support my channel and also to meet the lovely Miss Brooke Gilley. It's like this, like I said, support her in her path, show her much respect because these women, they put a lot of hard work, make a lot of sacrifices, and put a lot of time to do what they do. And they need to be recognized for who they are as athletes, as women, and just anything else they can be. Because like I said, hey, it's a tough job. Nobody can take no one really want to take a fist in the face, but she does it, and she does it really well. But like I said, I do appreciate you. I would say good luck to you, and I hope you really grow more and get more opportunities in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I hope you have a killer weekend.
I hope so too. I appreciate that from you too. Anyway, this is Mail Away George Page, aka the Emperor of, should I say, boxing talk, because this is you're going to be bare knuckle, and also a little bit of a MMA talk. Don't subscribe. We're out. Have a good rest of the afternoon.
See you guys later.